Hey, it's James, Father's Rights and Resources, hashtag how I got custody. I did a video on YouTube before talking about pictures worth 1,000 words. And I didn't really show people how I put pictures together, so I want to do that in this video. And a couple things about pictures. Sometimes they're so, like if you got a bunch of them, like I like to put a wide variety of pictures over a wide variety of time doing a wide variety of things. I've seen some people file pictures like one time a dad I dealt with. I said, man, if I was you, I'd file as many pictures as possible doing a wide variety of things. He filed like 5 pictures of him in 5 different sitting positions at the McDonald play play area at McDonald's. That's not really overwhelmingly convincing that you're doing a wide variety of parenting functions over a long time. I had a dad who the he was sharing the child 50-50, and then when the mom went to court and he was trying to get a court order for 50-50, she wasn't going to get any more child support, so she fought for full custody, and she said he wasn't holding his weight. So she said this dude was not holding his weight. She shared the kid for 50-50. He went to court with 10 pages of pictures as an exhibit, so he had 40 pages because he had 4 pictures, like in the screen here, 1, 2, 3, 4 by 6 pictures, and showed him cutting the girl's nails, bathing her, reading to her, making breakfast to her. She got blown out of the water. A picture's worth 1,000 words. And so, but I didn't show people how I put them together. If I do a motion for a temporary parenting plan, I don't want to make my pictures an exhibit with 20 other exhibits, because later on down the road, I'm going to want to make reference to the file. Or a lot of times, in my case, the judge would let us say sub number 145 or docket entry number 145 in the file, or 55 or 17. I got 1,100 docket entries in my case. The average ugly divorce has a couple hundred. Some of the worst cases I've seen are up 500, 700. I have almost twice as much as those people. So, but I don't want to file a motion and then I need the pictures again, so I'm asking the court to look at that exhibit in that one motion somewhere. I'd rather have the docket say pictures of father. Well, let's see what I call it. Pictures of Christensen and child. So the mother's last name is Wright, Sedaris Wright. You could probably find her. Her name is so unique. But the number one abandoning deadbeat mom in the history of America. And while she's a deadbeat abandoning mom, she calls me a monster who can't care for a child, who's abusive and all this other stuff after she abandoned the child. It's crazy because in my case, my baby's mom said, James drove me out of the state of Washington. I didn't drive her out of the county. I didn't drive her from Washington to the next state in Oregon. I drove her from Seattle all the way to Los Angeles. And then she moved to Georgia and then Kansas. And she was out of our kid's life off and on for 18 years. Abandoned her for a year and a half, then 3 years, and 5 years, and 7 years of absolutely no contact. Disappeared, didn't know where she was. Psychotic weirdo. And I'm stupid for having a kid with her. So I want to show you how I put pictures together, so hopefully this makes a picture in your mind of how I do it. And I want it to be its own separate file, so when I look in the file docket, it says pictures of child or father-child pictures, and I could find it or just make reference to it. And I could pull it easier if it's its own document. Plus, I got so many pictures, I want it to be all by itself and not mixed in with a bunch of other exhibits. So I'm going to move over here to my computer, and I'm going to flip the screen around. And so here's the cover page for what I got here. So if you notice, this is the caption. Well, let me scroll down. So in Washington State, they have this big old gap right here of 3 inches, so you can stamp clerk received, served at the attorney's office, working copies in the judge's mailroom, stuff like that. So there's room to stamp. Not everybody has stuff like that. So here's the caption. A lot of people haven't heard of the word caption. The title of the case over here, we have everything, the case number, and here's the name of the document. Now, I talk to people all the time, and I'll ask them, what's the name of the document that you have? And they'll look around, like all down here at the bottom, or they'll look over here, or they'll say the name of the document is Superior Court of Washington. Well, they all say that. Here's the name of the document, okay? It might say summons, petition, declaration. And I'll ask people, where's the document that says parenting plan? And they'll say, oh, and they'll start reading it, but it's the declaration supporting parenting plan, or it's the temporary parenting plan, or it's the motion for parenting plan. People have a very, very hard time listening and paying attention on a very simple thing. Like they look at the paperwork and they're overwhelmed, and I say, hey, go to the caption and tell me the title of the document that's under the case number. Now, am I being a jerk, or is that complicated? It doesn't seem very complicated to me. And I'll have people reading from something and they don't listen. I'll say the title, like when you have a title of a book or you have a book report or an essay, usually it's at the very beginning or the front page. For some reason, people like to look through every single page and freak out and not listen. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. So if I'm consulting with somebody and I'll ask them, what's the name of the document? Here's the name of the document right at top where you usually see a title to anything in life. The title of a chapter in a book will be at the top of the page when the chapter starts. The title of the book will be on the cover of the book. The title of an essay or a report or a briefing or a report, a business financial report from a company will be somewhere on the upper middle of the page. So this obviously isn't the title of the document because this is what they all say. And if I say under the case number, that's obviously the case number. So when a judge or a lawyer is talking to you about this person's declaration or this person's summons or this person's, look here. This is where the title of the document is. I'm not sure why people don't understand that, but I know people are frazzled and emotional when they get served a bunch of paperwork. When I say, what's the title of the document? Sometimes I spend 15 minutes having somebody go through 10 different documents. And if I say the word parenting plan, there's 5 different documents that say parenting plan. And if I say, like, let's say I say proposed parenting plan, it says declaration in support of parenting plan. That's not what I said. So you got to get in the habit of, when you go to court, listening to words, because if you get words wrong, you'll be totally lost or you'll mislead a judge. So back to the pictures. So here's the pictures. So there's me, daughter's initials. I'm blocking out her date. There's obviously me, my baby's mom. Told you the evil abuser of the system who dragged me into court. She never showed up for a court hearing for 20 years mostly. Her abusive, sex offender, psychotic, racist, chauvinist pig attorney who she loved as a woman of color took over the case and stalked me like he was my ex-gay lover who was scorned and hated me for moving on without him. And he was obsessed with me, so he dragged me into court. So in here I talk about, so all I do is look, I get right into the pictures right after this, okay? So I have a cover sheet so that when I file it with the court, it's under its own case number and cover sheet. I can't just file pictures in court, like start here on this picture, okay? I have to have a cover sheet so that the court will look at the cover sheet and whatever's attached to it's going to be filed. So if you see here, I have volume 1, page 1 through 30. So I have 30 pages here, and the image of the pictures was so large that King County, the county that I'm in, see the King County? The courthouse that I'm in, their e-filing system only takes 5 megabyte files. So these files, when I scan these pictures, and if you look, there's the thumbs for it in Adobe Acrobat. But when I file these pictures, they're so big, I had to make, and I have so many. Let me just scroll down real quick. So if I scroll down, you'll see I got 217 pages of pictures. So me and the daughter over the course of like 7 or 8 years. When did I file this? Let me see here. This is how you navigate a document. Like sometimes I'll ask people, okay, who signed the document? Well, where do you sign a document usually? You sign it at the bottom. And I have people looking all over the place. Now this is easy because this is a 1-page document. But I have people looking like through every single page. The bottom of the page might say, page 1 of 10. And you flip through and you look at the page number and you're looking for a signature on every single page. The signature is at the end of most any document, a contract, a letter, and a court document, okay? This is where people lose all common sense and they get intimidated by the content here. They think there's a bunch of legal mumbo jumbo in here, so that means they just lose all logic and they don't know how to find stuff. This stuff is not as intimidating as it seems. It's just some people writing on paper what they think. And there's no reason to get super afraid. Now, you get nervous about this because you go to court and you're fighting over your kid, but some people get freaked out, and then I'll say, okay, who signed the document? And like, where's the signature? And I'm like, it's at the end of the document. And then they go through every single page looking for the signature instead of like say again, say this is one of 10. I would go to page 10 and look for the signature. Okay. So that being said, so I have a cover sheet, and in the cover sheet I say attached herewith are pictures of me, James, with the child, performing parenting functions. Whoops, I'm sorry. Attached herewith are pictures of me, James Christensen, with the child, performing parenting functions as defined under the law. So what are parenting functions? Well, they're defined. If you're in Washington, that's the definition of them. Feeding, clothing, caring for the child, exercising good judgment, maintaining appropriate relationships, all the stuff that my baby's mom never did for 20 years, but my judge praised and worshiped her because she was a woman, and it's okay for a woman to abandon a man or abandon a child. And then I just make a quick description. I would never have a cover sheet more than 1 page. You don't even have to do this in here, but I just wanted to, for whatever reason, I can't remember, it was a while ago. So I sit here and say many of the pictures are, I wanted the court to know what's going on here. And there's a wide variety of stuff. Many of the pictures of other children are them depicting times that I supervised a school field trip. I wanted them to know, here I am supervising a school field trip. Coached a team, conducted or orchestrated, hosted a birthday party. So I'm doing the birthday party stuff, which, usually moms are doing that. Or babysat a friend or two of my child. Other pictures include me doing combing and flat ironing of her hair, attending science affairs, doing homework, and spending quality time with her. So I wanted to cover every area. And then I declare an penalty of perjury, and then I just sign it. So simple cover sheet. You don't even have to do all this stuff in the middle. You can just say something like this if you want. Attached. You got to describe whatever you're attaching, and you got to swear under oath it is what it is, or nobody. You can't just say. You can't just have a cover sheet, pictures, and then not talk about what it is. You want to tell people what it is that's attached. If you have 100 pages of text messages or phone records, then you want to describe attached herewith are 100 pages of text messages between the mother and the father, my phone number and her phone number. You want to be as detailed as possible and give people some information on it. So that being said, here's a cover sheet, okay? Now remember, I had to make 7 volumes of this. This is the first volume, okay? Because the files were so huge. I wish I would have been able to put it in all one document. So I'll show you here real quick. So I'm going to go back down. I'm going to scroll back up to the top so you can see the thumbs. So you see this divider sheet? Here's the cover sheet that I just highlighted. So I scroll down, and there's pictures, 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 and then there's another one of these. So these are separate. These documents are filed separately as their own, but I combine them together for my own convenience here. So they're all separate documents. So I had 7 documents. So if I click on that, there's volume 2, pages 31 through 60. And I use the same language, and then I just called it volume 2 on the description. Okay. So I'd put page 1 of 1 for cover sheet. Maybe I should have put page 1 of 30 or something because of the attachment. So there's my daughter playing at the mall. There's me and her at the play area. She looks so horrified because I'm such an abusive child abuser and woman abuser that I thought I'd show, the mother testifying to what a monster I am after she proposed I have full custody and then abandoned the care of the child to me, and then said I was a monster for the next 18 years that I raised her without her. You would think I would get a thank you, but instead, from Sedaris Willette Wright, but instead of getting a thank you for raising the kid without her help, she pops back 20 years later, and now she's hanging out with her all the time like nothing ever happened. She's got all the patience in the world. So also, here's what I did. See the number right there? Adobe Acrobat allows you to do if you go to Tools in Adobe Acrobat, there's a function in here called, I think it's under Stamp. I always forget. So I open this tool, and my computer's really slow because I'm not rich like these attorneys, and it says Stamp Bates Numbering. So if I go into Bates Numbering and I put Add, I'm going to add this document, and then I'll click OK, and then it allows me to pick a font in here, and then I get to say where I want this. This is halfway from the bottom, 1 inch. Well, I guess you got to pick a section. Do you want it centered? Do you want it in the bottom center? You want it in the right footer? And I chose the right footer. So this gives you, like, if you start typing something, let's see if I type something. 1, 2, 3. Whoops. What if I start typing something? Where is it? It should show me. Oh, you can see it right there. So there's the 1, 2. So if I pick, and I want to give this, you know, for those of you who already know this stuff, I want to give you a sample of how I do this stuff so you can just see everything, because seeing is believing and seeing is making it easy. So I'm going to make a font this big. So I made Arial Black Bold, so you can see where it is right there, okay? So now I could have screen recorded this and made it fancy, but I'm trying to make this as easy as possible because I'm doing this for free for you guys, and it's information you ain't gonna get anywhere else. So sorry about the movement on the phone, but I'm trying to make this quick and easy and get it up to you. And this is gonna save you countless hours. So the content of it, for those of you like, oh, this isn't really fancy and there's no sparkles and lights and shining strobe lights, that's too bad. You're getting content and information that's saving you hundreds of dollars if you have an attorney or paralegalist. So you can see down there, it's way close. I don't like it that far at the bottom, so I want to say from the bottom, I want to move it up 1 inch up from the bottom. So I just did that. And this is kind of confusing because, so I want it 1/2 inch from the right. So let's say I want it way over to the side. So I just moved, it was right there. I just moved it over here, okay? So I don't know if I can, maybe I can, let's see if I can make this. Okay. So if you can see my mouse moving around, watch me do this. I'm gonna move it back to, I want it 1 inch from the right margin. See how I just moved down there? Okay, so now I'm placing it. Let's say I like that, or if I want it bigger. Okay, so then, and then it says insert Bates number, and then it tells me I can make 6 digits. Well, I have 3 digits right here. That's all I need, okay? The pages go up to 100. If I was gonna do 1,000 pages, then I would want 4 digits, okay? But I only want, let's say 3 digits, okay? And I click OK, and then there's something wrong here, okay? Oh, this is what I did. I should have left it alone. I'm just showing you guys the font. In here, the right footer text, I typed in the number 12. I should have just left it alone. I'm sorry. So if I leave it alone, and I just go like that, then it's to the then it goes to then it actually starts numbering itself. So what I did was I clicked insert Bates number, and then inserted it in whichever box I had like if I put it in here, I put insert Bates number right there. Now it's going to move it. Oh, it created a whole new one. So that just shows different locations you can have. So, and then if I hit OK, then it's going to do that on the pages. I'm not going to do that because I already have my Bates numbering. So I wanted to give you guys, that's a cool little tool if you have 100 pages of exhibits. Now, I would always do that if I have emails, text messages, or anything that has a lot of exhibits like what I got going on here. Okay? So, back to what I got going on here. So here's more pictures of us. So I want to get to I'm going to change this to my view. A little education for those of you who don't know Adobe Acrobat. I still don't know it all that well. So I'm going to put 2-page view, but I want to be able to scroll with my mouse. So, okay. So now let's go back to the top. So you can see me playing over here. For those of you, I can highlight this and move it so I only have one thumb over here, or I can hit this arrow and it all disappears, okay? But I want a couple of thumbs so you guys can see. Let's see if that works. I hate the way Adobe Acrobat has changed this. It used to be simpler. Okay, so here's 2 up. This is not what it looks like when I print it out. This is page 1 and that's page 2, okay? So look, number 2, or I'm sorry, yeah. I start that as number 1. The cover sheet I didn't count. So, number 1. See this? 2, 3. And this is a 5x7 picture and a 5x7. So When I go into my computer, let's say these pictures are on my computer. Let's just pretend I'm looking at my computer. If I went in and highlighted 1, 2, 3, 4 with my mouse, and I hit Control, click, 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 or if I go into a file and I select all, when I right click and I hit print, okay, when I right click and I hit print, it'll take all my pictures and send it to the output printer. And when I say print to PDF instead of my printer, which is up here, okay, if I go to my printer, I wish I could show you this right now, but I don't have pictures ready to do that. So, but if I click to my printer, I can go to my printer and my printer will show me all the pictures like off to the side that I am planning on printing, and then it displays, do I want something one up that's this big and fills the whole page? I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if that's light blue or whatever. I'm colorblind, basically. And then it'll show you this option, and you can click on it, and then you can click on an option that has 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 pictures, which would be 4 by 6, or it can do wallet size. You know, like, I don't know, I think that's 16 wallet size. It'll give you that option. I always go to this 2-up option. I think there's a bigger one that's wider that goes all the way to the, but my county requires extra space in the side. So I may be going slow for some of you, but some people are totally illiterate when it comes to this stuff. So bear with me on this. I could have done this in 5 minutes, but I would be leaving out the people who are really slow at this stuff. So there's nothing wrong with being slow. That's just, you know, you're not better than it. Nobody's better than you. You just, maybe you're a handyman and you're really good at what you do. So you have your own area of value. Other people have theirs. So let me just scroll down. So I got these pictures. Here's me giving her a bath, hanging out, you know, just being loving and affectionate, giving her a bath, wide variety of things. She's happy around me at some restaurant with family and friends. There's my sister in the middle, Michelle, rest in peace. My baby sister on the left, and there's my daughter. Look at my big 8-head forehead and my daughter. So yeah, she's in so much danger. Here's me and her, our first snow. So those two pictures together. So here's me bottle feeding her. And I actually had a picture like this when mother went to court and said, oh, he can't handle the child for the child can't handle him for more than 2 hours because she's breastfeeding. And I had pictures like this showing me bottle feeding her. I schooled the mother. A picture's worth 1,000 words. Now, if I would have said I bottle fed her and I don't have pictures, who are they going to believe? Not me. They're going to believe the breastfeeder. But I had pictures, and I think I destroyed her credibility right there. So there's our first snow. Mother missed her first snow, her first walk, her first words. So here's me clipping her toenails. Like every time I did something, I did some stuff for memory, and I did some stuff to like, okay, they're going to go to court and lie about me. So most of the pictures I took were for memory. But sometimes I was thinking like, okay, I think this was kind of fun, clipping her toenails or whatever. But also sometimes I thought about, you got to think about this. Whatever I'm doing right now, I need to prove in court that this works. Or that, not that this works, that I can be a dad, or I need to prove in court that I'm doing this stuff. Okay? How do I prove it? Take pictures or video. Duh. So here's that's anybody can hold their kids. So here's the professional pictures. Here's that's at the park. So this is me doing her hair. Nobody else. You know, guys can do hair too. Anybody can acquire a skill. Women don't walk out of the womb being the only person automatically knowing how to do hair. They have to learn it just like anybody else. So all this stupid jackass mentality. Oh, well, you don't have... I had one guy say, well, this is your first kid, and the mother already had a kid. Okay, so why did she have her first kid, custody of her first kid? Why didn't they take custody away from her? Everybody does something first. They drive the first time. They ride a bike the first time, and they do it mostly by learning it. So here's her first birthday party. There I am. We celebrated it twice. Here's another birthday party, another place, on an airplane, on a slide, just showing us doing a wide variety of things, you know. And this is back then. I had to take these with a camera and then print them out and then scan them. So you guys got it way easier. All you got to do is drop your phone in or Google Photos, save them to a folder and print them out, and you can print them to a PDF in color, and you can e-file it with the court. You don't even have to print in color and pay for all this stuff. I had to pay for this stuff when I printed it out. So here's lasting memories, and I want to see if there's So here I am around all her friends and family. Here she is at a little 10K with my sister. They did a little 1K run for the kids. Okay, that's still did. Oh, that's a little fair. Here we are playing soccer, having soccer practice. Wide variety of things. A wide variety. So here she is happy with a clown. I'm taking her outdoors to all this stuff. And here's volume 2, pages 31 to 60. And really what I did was I took, see, page 31, page 32. That way when I'm in court, like I said, remember I got, see, look at this. I got 217 pages. So I might go to court and plan on, okay, let me pick out 8 of these pictures. I'm going to overwhelm the court with overwhelming evidence about me being involved, and they can't say that I'm a bad dad. I've never been complimented about being a dad or devoted or anything like that, ever, okay? In my case, I'm always a monster, fat, ugly, stupid, mentally ill, all that stuff. So here's us doing dishes. Here's me teaching her, getting her used to the water. It's funny. She was so used to the water one time. She got out, I put her on the side. She was jumping and I was catching her. And then we did a little routine like that. She was so excited for the water. Then one time I put her up and I swimming out to a spot. Like I was turning around to go to a spot. She went pitter patter, splash. And she just ran and jumped in. I had to grab her. So she didn't drown, but she would have been fine. But it kind of freaked me out. Anyway, so there's some formal pictures. They didn't come out too good when I scanned them. But, you know, I put the timer on the camera on this, doing dishes with her. Okay? Wide variety. Now this is really important. Look at that. Okay. She feels safe and comfortable with me, okay? She feels safe and secure with me. You better have pictures like this, fathers. Don't be stupid. Okay? Most of you have pictures, but some of you are out there taking pictures of the kid and you're not in the pictures. Take pictures of your kid feeling safe and secure. There's no place in the world she'd rather be than resting her head on me, okay? Look, she's totally in love with her dad. You can't deny that, okay? She's totally surrendering and dependent upon me. Those are facts. Here I am, you know, checking her hair that I put together earlier. Here she is having fun at the zoo, on a swing, on a playground. I'm the one who picked out her clothes. I'm the one who put them together. It's kind of easy back then. I used Oshkosh, but here's her on it. Now look at that. So I can't remember if somebody took that or that's the camera. Look at her face. She's happy, okay? Here's another one, okay? Happy. She's eating breakfast. So I do little stuff like that. It only takes a second to take a picture. You go to court and they're like, well, you don't have any pictures of this or that. So here she is at a birthday party that I'm hosting, that I'm orchestrating and running, okay? Here she is, you know, having fun, and we just did stuff like this all the time. Here we are at Easter. We went to the church that had an Easter egg hunt, and you just can't deny this. And the mother said that I was a monster. She called me a monster 15 years later after all this in paperwork. I'm not crying about it. I'm just telling you how crazy these people are. This is one of my favorite pictures right there. She calls me a monster. She says I'm dangerous to women and children under oath. She says that after years of abandonment and we're in court fighting each other, she says, I'm not sure that James is taking good enough care of our kid because he's in court so much. She drags me into court and says, look at that. She's totally dependent upon me for safety, okay? This is a dad. It's not just me. Here we are having fun. She's kicking water on me. If I'm so abusive, why aren't they worried that I'm going to punch her for doing this? We're having fun, okay? So this is the type of stuff, what I'm telling you right now. Look at that. She's totally secure and lost, you know, just feeling comfortable, just leaning against my chest, okay? Totally secure. She used to do this thing where she'd put her fingers and cling to my ear. She had a thing for my ear. It's just a security thing. And here I am at the hospital when she had a medical procedure and she's knocked out. Who's there? The mom? No. Here I am taking care of business. That's at Children's Hospital. Here we are out in the park with friends and things like that. And then here's another cover sheet, okay? This is volume 3, pages 61 to 90. And what I do is I want to serve this paperwork up so it's easy as possible. So let's say this paperwork gets mixed up, okay? And they don't know what order I'm in. Now, they got to know the order because I got page numbers, but I got page numbers. I got which volume or batch this is. I got the title of it, Simple Pictures of Christensen and Child. So I'm Christensen, the psychotic, evil Jezebel witch, Sedaris Wright, has a different last name. So they know who I'm. Some of you might have to say father-child pictures or father-children pictures. So volume, pages. There's enough information in here where nobody's confused. You want to make it as simple as, you want to work a little bit hard to communicate clearly so that nobody's confused. And then we have these footer things where we put the name of the document at the bottom. Your formatting may be different, but you just want the content to be simple and straightforward. So here's the third batch, but I have a running number here. So when I'm in court, I don't have the third batch and I start page 1. I don't want to say volume 3, page 1, and there's a page 1 in each batch. They'll be confused. There's only one page, 61. And I say, oh, look at her dancing and having fun. She is having a friggin' blast. She is loving it. And who's facilitating this? Okay? Now, these are friends that I already have, okay, that were around. But you notice she's around people of color, and I'm white, in case any of you didn't notice that. I entrenched my daughter in black culture and made sure that she enjoyed, you know, basically that heritage and that family background and was around people of color as much as possible. The mother did nothing to teach her about black history, her own culture, and being around people. I facilitated that. So here's one of my favorite pictures, the little playhouse she had in the house, or in the apartment that I had. So here we are, baking cookies. She's stealing the cookie dough like a little brat. Out in the water. Look at the wide variety of things we're doing. Look at, here she is playing with a bunch of other girls and little girls of color. So if they try to say, now I wasn't doing this on purpose. I just have you know, a wide variety of friends. So it wasn't like I was like, oh, let me hang out with some black friends so it looks good in court. I just lived my life and I documented it as I went. Okay. Here we are. Who's taking her and helping her being active and interacting with other people and doing things like gymnastics? Okay. Who's there intimately on a day-by-day basis? Okay. This is what happens when single dads get custody of their kids. You know, who's doing her hair? There's proof that I'm doing her hair. So I could talk, I could get up on the stand and testify. Like if I'm on the stand, I'll take the stand at trial for 2 days. And I will go through this stuff and describe these things that the mother can't possibly describe because I'm involved in the child's life, not her. She knows nothing about it. Here we are at a Halloween party at this church. We're doing it indoors and keeping it safe because it's a crazy world we live in. And here we are taking a picture together. And she is grabbing my ear again. That was her little thing. So when she was an infant, after her mom abandoned her and she couldn't breastfeed, one time she got a hold of my earlobe and sucked on it. So that was her little attachment. So here's friends and family. Here's me feeding her relatively healthy stuff. I shouldn't have done the chicken or the yogurt, but should have kind of forced more fruit on her. But it's healthier than that. At least she's not going to McDonald's. Here's a picture of me showing cards from her mom. So her mom would said cards, but her mom was so psycho, she thought that was good enough because her mom loves gifts like that. So here I am. My daughter's looking at a picture of her mom and like, oh, let me get the camera. They were saying I was alienating her. How am I alienating her? I'm the custodial parent. The mother's slandering me in court, and I got a couple cards. This is a period of time when she was visiting her, and she would send a card. Like she'd come and visit her like once a month for a few months while we were in court. That's my sister with her. That's my sister with her in the background. But here's the mom with a couple cards and pictures. Here I am maintaining the bond, only to end up hurting the child because. And there's a picture of her mom up here too. I don't know if you could see it. Nope. On the mantle is a picture of her and her mom. So I kept her mom's memory vivid and live. Here we are. We're watching the Prince of Egypt and we're doing a little dance when they were dancing. Christmas. Okay, so you probably gonna. So here I am teaching her. I was so fortunate that she would let me know by her facial expressions that she had to use the toilet. And I would grab, rip off her pull-up, and throw her on the toilet. I only had to change a poopy diaper or a pull-up probably after age 1, like a few times. I was just like, I'm going to let her do the grown-up stuff. And she balanced on it fine. So just a wide variety of stuff. I'm teaching all this stuff. I'm not deferring to my mom, the grandma, other people. Here's her on a trampoline, having fun. I'm just trying to see if there's any other. Okay, so here I go. Coaching a soccer team. I don't know jack squat about soccer except offsides and out of bounds, and you can't use your hands. but my daughter wanted to play soccer. We wanted to try it, and nobody was there to coach, and they needed volunteer coaches. So here I am. Okay, here I am coaching with a buddy of mine 10 years earlier before I had my kid. Here I am at an event, you know, still had her around. Here I am around a friend, and we're at a fashionable event. Here she is with all her friends in the apartment complex. We're having fun. We're having girl day. I'm a dad, but I'm not making her hang out with only boys. Here's a girl day, and you know, there's the page number. So what I was going to say is I could get on the stand and testify and say, oh, here we are visiting our side of the paternal side of the family, my dad's side of the family in Minnesota, on the river between Wisconsin and Minnesota. Here I was just having fun at home, and I'm now on page 85 where she had a choir event, and I'm on the bus with her being shuffled to her choir performances, and as a volunteer parent kind of chaperoning and looking over the kids. And I could say, you know, this is a big Christmas event. She loves singing. I could describe that stuff that her mom knows nothing about. And I could get on the stand, like let's say I'm on the stand. So this is a good lesson in testimony. If I'm on the stand. So here's a picture of her performing. Where is she? Oh gosh, I can't even see her. Did I have her in here? I gotta have her in there somewhere. I don't even see where she is. But I would be ready for trial. Oh, there she is. Her hair is back. That's her tilting in the black right there. So that's her. Her hair is tied back. Yeah, so that was the outfit she had. So I would sit here and say, okay, here's us making cookies for Christmas that year. And I'm on page 87. And I would be up there. Here's us making cookies for Christmas. Here's a choir event on December 20th, 2006, when she was 5 years old for Christmas. And here's Christmas around the house. And here's us playing outside in Christmas. And here she is with a friend helping paint. And I wanted her to learn how to paint. And I would just say a little something about this. And here I am continuing to facilitate the mother-child relationship, even though the mother's gone. And the mother's in there saying that I'm probably alienating the child. And here's another volume. So if I'm at trial, and this is in my trial notebook, this is exhibit 20, I'll get on the stand and I'll say, I'm opening up what's marked as exhibit 20. These are pictures of me and the child and our life together. Your Honor, I move for admission. And the judge would say, okay, it's admitted unless there's objections. The other side would probably say, I object. Why do you object? Oh, because, I don't know, James he didn't authenticate it or whatever. Like, I'm testifying under oath. These are pictures that I took or had friends take. And then the judge says, I'll admit them. I'll go through starting at page 1. I'll say, okay, now I'm on page 91, the picture on top. She loves taking the camera and having, you know, taking selfies. And here we are at Family Fun Center in Tukwila, Washington. And I'm hosting and facilitating a birthday party. And these are all her friends. And there she is having a great time and loving it. And I'm orchestrating this. And then here we are on page 92. Here's when we had our cake and we had our dinner. Here's her at some friend's birthday party, and I just described that. Oh yeah, by the way, here I am braiding her hair in my bedroom and tightening it up before she goes to bed at night after she showered. She came into my room and asked me to tighten up her braids before she puts her cap on for the night. And then here we go. Here's a picture of a card from Mommy that she's showing me, which I allowed her to read. And the mother has testified that I don't allow that, but here's proof that. Now, if I go in there and say I allowed this and I don't have a picture, then what does that show? Nothing. And so here's a birthday party she went to with friends. Look at the diverse group of friends, as usual. People, you know, the courts love diversity. So here we are at that birthday party, and she's experimenting, having fun, doing gymnastics. So here we are at the community center, and she loves swimming there, and it's just us two, and I took her there just to swim. Maybe I exercised or ran around or was shooting the basketball. And here we are at the mall. If it was raining, we'd like to go to the mall. So I'm sitting here telling a story with pictures. There's no way they can deny this stuff. So let me see if there's anything interesting. Oh, so look. Here I am packing her bag, or I had her pack her bag for a visitation exchange. And check it out. On page 101 of my pictures, I have a picture of a t-shirt that I got her saying Mommy's favorite to help facilitate and help the mom feel comfortable, etc. Here's a room where I bought her all her favorite stuff to set up a room and have a room like this. Here I am reading her, you know, like I usually do before she goes to bed. And I'm on page 102. Here's a picture. Here's a true picture of me doing, and I'm just giving a little comment on all these things. And this is my testimony. Here I am brushing her hair into a ponytail or something like that, like I often did. Here she is finishing second in a 100-meter dash in a track meet when I had her in track, and I was at her track meet supporting her. There she is on the stand finishing second. So if I tell them what a great athlete she was for her age, they wouldn't believe me because I don't have any proof. Well, that's pretty obvious. And then here we are at, I can't remember if that's Cannon Beach or Ocean Shore. I think it's Ocean Shores in Washington. Here she is. Here's how family spends time together. The paternal side of the family. Here we are at Ocean Shores doing our thing out on the beach. Oh yeah, so this is, I think this is Seaside, Oregon. No, it's Cannon Beach, Washington. I can't remember. I'd have to be ready for this. Here we are at a local, you know, family fun park or amusement park set up on the street. So I'm just giving you examples of how I would talk and how I go through this. So here we are. She's just tickling me and we're having fun at home. Here's another birthday party that she attended, or that I hosted, a roller skating party. So I'm showing, first we go to Family Fun Center, and then we also go to a birthday party at a roller skating rink, and I'm being diverse about it. It's not the same old boring, you know, situation. Here we are before a daddy-daughter dance. So look at the wide variety of things that we're doing here. Track meet stuff. Oh, here's their birthday party friend at the roller. This is for a friend, I guess. But she also did a birthday party at a skating rink. So I would be ready for all this stuff. Here we are. We like to just go down to the waterfront and walk there and hang out there. And so she's not sitting around home playing video games all day. Here's a birthday party I posted. Here's her in her own little girly room reading a book. She loved to read books even before she was in school. So here's another birthday party. We were going, and then I would say something like, okay, here I am on page 123. Here's another birthday party we went to, you know, a diverse group of kids, all that stuff. She's having fun. We went to about 5 or 6 birthday parties a year. Oh, bam, what do you know? Here we are at the zoo, and we're on a field trip for school. And look at me. I'm kind of squatting down with the kids. Here I am, one of the parent hosts with a badge on my chest, and I'm escorting 4 kids, including 3 girls, or maybe it's 2 boys. I think there was another girl. Here we are at a track meet. I'm taking pictures and making sure she's okay. She's halfway doing a long jump. So I'm talking like I might talk at trial. You don't have to be fancy at trial. I'm just walking through and telling my story of my life with the kid. If the mother was trying to take the kid away from me, or she was trying to get more visitation. So here's another picture at a track meet, but this is a big one. I'm entrusted as an escort for kids at the school. Okay, here's a science project she did, or some kind of project at school, and we had to make a clay tiger, and we were talking about, oh, it's a Sumatran tiger. So here we are, working late at night like a lot of parents do at the last minute to finish a project. Here she is with friends. There's a piñata. She's at another birthday party. We do birthday parties all the time. Here she is playing at a, you know, some local park where there's park, barbecue, you know, like traveling parks with slides and fun. Getting a picture of herself taken. And so I might be a little bit more articulate than I'm doing right now. So her mom's last name is Wright. So we're at this park called Wright Park. And I said, hey, there's mommy's name. Take a picture with that and you can show it to her one day. And continuing to include her mom. So I say stuff like this. There's the daddy-daughter dance picture again. Here we are at Auntie's down in Oregon. Visited her. And we're with Auntie right there. So, you know, I don't know if you can, I don't know if I should turn and tilt that. So here we are at the actual daddy-daughter dance. Here we are. She's doing the, forgot what that bar thing is. Here's another picture of us at the, so if I'm at a major event, I'm definitely taking pictures. Now, everybody pretty much does that nowadays. So here's another birthday party. And a bunch of kids. We're having fun. Okay. So I'll just go, I might make one mention. Here she is finishing second at this track meet in the 100. And I might just leave it at that. Here's me chaperoning these girls at that was at the Pacific Science Center, not the zoo. So there's 2 different field trips. Here she is playing ping pong. So I'm showing a wide, so here we are. I'm chaperoning these girls at the Science Center in Seattle. Yeah, here we go. That's what I was thinking of where the girls were. So I would talk about, here's an elementary school field trip, and I'm entrusted with the care of these kids. And here we are at home. I'm stooping down to her level, and she's showing me her dolls and what she enjoys and stuff like that. So, trying to think if there's anything else I should tell you guys. Like, hopefully you get the idea. Now, I wouldn't be as sloppy as I was. Okay, so there's the daddy-daughter flyer. So on page 153, here's the flyer of the dance that we were at, back up, and I'll just tell them back up at here where we're dressed fancy. Okay. Here's her first day of school of 5th grade, her last year in elementary school, and here's her lined up, and I am dropping her off. Where's the mother? Nowhere to be found. She was never there for any first or second. Here she is with one of her BFFs at the time, best friends, for those who don't get it. Here she is at the salon. Here I am at the salon with her, helping her get her hair straightened. She loved getting her hair straightened. She had tight curls. And then here we are at the ocean, and here I am brushing her hair in the bathroom. She took this picture because she wanted to. So I'm not just doing a one-time thing brushing her hair. I'm doing her hair all the time until she's old enough to do it on her own. Here we are on a trip to Hawaii, and we did this and that. I'll say here we are on the plane to Hawaii. Here we are on the beach at Hawaii. We enjoyed the time. Here we are at a luau at Hawaii, and she loved that. And I'm just explaining and telling a story behind this stuff. She loved her little, I forgot what these dolls are called. She had a collection of these dolls, and she loved to set them up and show me what they were. Okay, so here's me hosting the birthday party, okay? You can't deny that Dad is involved in hosting a birthday party. This is another one at Family Fun Center, so we went there a couple times. Here she is roasting some marshmallows with a friend. So you see us doing track, sports, gymnastics, outdoors, doing all these things. So here she is. We were in Spokane, and I would say on page 168, we traveled to Spokane for a friend's birthday party, which is on the other side of the state. Went on a little road trip for the weekend, and this is her friend, and here's a birthday party, and it was at a water park, and we had a blast. So we're traveling, here we are halfway on that trip. So I'll say, on page 169, there's a picture of her at Vantage Point. We stopped out of the car and took a break and looked at the scenery. And here she is. She loved it because of this and that. Here she is at the community center on page 169, the Fedaway Community Center. We like going there. She likes to swim and just be in the water. And here she is saying goodbye to a BFF who's moving away. And so I brought her around friends like this. I introduced her to friends like this. Here I am. She got her hair straightened and it's getting frizzy. So here I am with a flat iron, straightening it on page 172. I'll say, okay, on page 173, here's Christmas of whatever year it is. And she got a Nintendo DS. And here's a thing that she did for class where she had to say, who's my favorite person, my favorite color. Maybe she did this on her own. I'd have to figure it out. Here's my favorite people, and most of all, my dad, in her own handwriting. So here we are going on a helicopter ride at Ocean Shores. Here we are after I finished straightening her hair. So I'm straightening her hair. Here's the final product. It's nice and clean and shimmy. Here we are in the helicopter. So I'm going to say, here we are at Ocean Shores. We're going on a helicopter ride. And so I'm presenting all this evidence. Here we are at Ocean Shores again. We're out here flying a kite. And this is one of my favorite pictures. She looks beautiful in that picture. She looks like a model or something. So here we are having fun. There's Dad and her out on the beach. And here she is with her science project. Mom's nowhere to be found. Here's all the science projects there. And here she is just having fun being a kid. So, wide variety of pictures over a wide variety of time, doing a wide variety of things. Here we are in Hawaii, where Auntie ran a marathon, and here we are supporting her at the finish line. I have a bunch of Santa pictures. Let's see if we have anything else. Okay, you kind of get the picture or point. Here we are at a play with my sister with Down syndrome, and they had a play for special ed kids who or developmentally disabled kids in the community have a special play, and here we are supporting her. So here's our daughter being around events, unique events like that. Here she is fishing with her auntie, and I could talk about all these different things. Here I am in a store. She'd love to get her, if we were at Walmart or a place with a concrete floor, she'd grab me and I'd pull her and she'd slide like it was a sled. Here she is at piano lessons. So I'm going on. Here's our second trip to Disneyland. The mom lived in Los Angeles, never took her to Disneyland. I took her to Disneyland more than the mom, and I was 1,000 miles away living in Seattle. So I would say stuff like that to bash the mom. Here I am at our Disney trip, combing her hair. Her mom's nowhere to be found, so I'm combing her hair instead of the mother. And here we are again. I can show the picture of us being here 5 years earlier. And then here's her going into class, the first or last day of school. I can't remember. So I'd be ready for stuff like that. So here I am doing her hair again, braiding it from scratch and parting it. So I would just say stuff like that. So I present all this stuff, and then at the end, I would do my closing argument and say, now, you saw overwhelming evidence of how intimately involved the father is, and obviously the mother doesn't care. So under the law, the person performing parenting functions should have custody, and the other person who abandons parenting functions should be restricted. So hopefully you stuck with me on that. If you didn't, oh well. That was kind of long. And I didn't even plan that. I thought that was going to be like 10 or 15 minutes. But since some of you don't know how to get on the stand and put on your own trial, that's what I would do if I got on the stand presenting my own trial. I would say, I call James Christian to the stand as my first witness. And I get on the stand and I have a trial notebook that's this thick. Let me see. Here's a sample of a trial notebook. Here's the binder saying, the name of the case, the volume, and the exhibits. And then I have all these exhibits labeled with numbers, right? And then I'm just going to go and read through the pertinent parts that apply to my case. And I'm going to say, okay, I'm turning what's been marked as Exhibit 145. And that's the financial declaration of me. See, look, I'm broke, and da-da-da-da, and the mother's rich. And then I move on to the next thing. Here's a declaration of the mother, and she's making good money. And here's, I don't know, let me just see what I got here. Here's a doc. Let's see if I can. So here's the declaration of the mother saying that I'm a monster, and I just went through all those pictures, Your Honor. And so this is what she says after all those pictures were filed about me. And I just want the court to make strong note of page 9 on her declaration, line 33 or whatever, that the mother said this about me. And here's a document by the mother's attorney, leaving a note saying I'm a stupid jackass and I'm a jerk and he hates my guts or whatever. And I go through all that stuff and I present that evidence on the stand, and I don't argue and I say, see, look at how evil the mother is, or look at how abusive she is. I don't say all that stuff. What I say is, here's this evidence, here's what happened. And then in my closing argument at the end of trial, here's a little tidbit for trial, which I got a 3-hour video I've never finished editing that I want to sell to you guys for $40 on my store. I might have to just do it raw and you get the information just to get the stuff out of you. To edit it and clean it up takes hours and hours. So, I'll go through all the exhibits and tell the story, and then I'll say, okay, I'm done with this witness, and I'll step down. A lot of courts allow you to, somebody asked me on TikTok, how do I testify? Do I ask myself questions, or you can ask the judge if you can have the judge read questions to yourself. Like, okay, why don't you tell us everything you think is relevant? And then I just grab the notebook and I say, well, first of all, the most relevant thing are pictures of me and my relationship with the child. I'm opening to Exhibit 1, which is pictures of me and the child. Your Honor, I move for admission. The judge goes, okay, I'll admit them. And then I'll go, you see page 1 at the top, blah, blah, like I just did. Go through all the pictures. And then at the end, I call the mother to the stand, grill the crap out of her. I call other witnesses to the stand, grill the crap out of them, or present evidence. Ex-girlfriends who I'm cool with, friends that I'm cool with. I had an ex-girlfriend that we were so cool after we stopped dating. We would babysit each other's daughters. As one of the girls in the picture there, we would babysit each other's daughters while the other person was going on a date. So, and some of them might be willing to come testify. They've written declarations. So how come the only person in the world who hates my guts is my baby's mom? And all these other girlfriends I've had, I'm cool with. So, and that's something I was saying in closing argument. You saw testimony from 2 of my ex-girlfriends that are not afraid of me. One of them is an actual domestic violence victim, and she testified what it's like to be a domestic violence victim, and she can't believe that someone had the audacity to call me a monster when she's seen me raising my daughter and doing this stuff and being friends with her daughter, etc. And I would say, Your Honor, you saw those pictures showing me performing parenting functions, and I was even trying to facilitate the mother-child relationship. And then I would get on the stand and testify. I would have my daughter call the mother on Mother's Day and her birthday, and the mother would not answer. And here I am facilitating everything, and she abandoned her. She's a sick, evil, twisted, mentally ill weirdo who needs a mental health evaluation before she has, excuse me, long-term unsupervised visitation. So you see the difference of me testifying? This is just what these pictures are. This is what they show. This is my life with my kid. I'm telling you this. Now, I could get up there and tell all these stories with the pictures I just showed you. But if I have the pictures with me while I'm telling the story, it's bringing it alive. If I'm just yakking away, the court is not going to absorb all this. They're going to sit there and go, oh my God, a dad brushed her hair? Or a white dad braided a biracial child's hair? Happens all the time. Nobody believes it. Because we have Hollywood images of Hollywood, which is dominated and dictated by radical feminists, showing fumbling, bubbling idiots like Mr. Mom, Al Bundy from Married with Children, Homer Simpson, even Bill Cosby. When there's times of controversy, Claire Huxtable puts her foot down, Ahmad Rashad's ex-wife, and like looking at him like, what are you going to do about this? And Bill Cosby's like, well, okay. Most wholesome, clean show out there, supposedly. Family-oriented, doctor and lawyer married. And the dad is like, oh, okay. It's real subtle, but even then, they're like, the mother runs the show when it's times of controversy. So I'm showing these pictures to unbrainwash this punk, stupid, jackass judge of mine, Judge James Edwin Rogers, if I ever went to trial. The daily activities of a father. He thinks I'm a monster because I'm litigating and calling him out for being a jerk and calling a sexually deviant, mentally ill, sociopath, chauvinistic, racist attorney, the mother's attorney, what he is. And so he thinks I'm a jerk. Here I am raising the kid, and the mom abandoned the kid, and he thinks that I drove the mother out of the state. So all that being said, I talk about my life or the exhibits, pictures. I might show text messages. I might just talk about other things, but I bring this case alive with the pictures. That was the main thing I want to show you, just how I do the pictures. But then I thought, oh, let me show you guys how I would talk on the stand at trial, give you a little extra freebie. So you just got an hour of free stuff you're not going to hear anywhere else. You're not going to see demonstrations like this anywhere else. At least I haven't seen it. There's people out there who know how to do this, who've done it before. And there's attorneys out there who are not going to even let you present all that much evidence, because what they'll do, the sellout attorneys will tell you, hey, look, they're not going to allow you to present all that evidence. And the attorney doesn't even try. And then it never gets in there. I'm going to submit this evidence, and the court is going to allow it. And I'm going to put up a fight, and I'm going to get it on the record. If he tries to stop me, see, too many of you out there are bowing down. What does the judge think? What does my lawyer think? What do my friends think? What does the dog think? What does my uncle think? What does the postman think? What does the paperboy think? Oh, the guys at my job who got totally railroaded in their divorce, they think I shouldn't do that. Why the hell would you listen to some stupid idiots like that? I'm going in to present my case the way that I want to. If the judge stops me, I'm objecting and saying, you are stymieing or you're blocking or hindering a full inquiry into the welfare of the child and what the child's life is about. Your allegiance is to the child. You need to know what the child does. There's all these pictures of father-child. If you get sick and tired of it, that's too bad, because I am her world. You don't like it? That's too bad. You need to know what's the best interest of the child. What's absent from all those pictures? The mom. She's never here. Who's doing her hair? Who's bathing her? Who's making sure she's ready for school? Who's doing her homework? Who's doing her science projects with her? Never, ever the mom. Ever. And the mom wants to waltz back in and have 50-50 custody or whatever she might have been doing. The mother tried to change the parenting plan so that she can go out of state for a full summer and stuff. That was crazy. So hopefully you got something out of this. I know you did. If you're patiently waiting through it. See, this is why the people, haters in the comments, who are so stupid, whining and crying. Some punk said, well, get to the point, stop rambling on. Go somewhere else, you stupid jackass. Go pay $400 an hour for an attorney who won't tell you this stuff. Just sit down for an hour of your free time if you actually care about your kids enough to sit down and patiently watch this and get free information. If you only get free information every 20 minutes, it's still worth your time and money, right? Does your life with your kids matter? Or do you want to just pay an attorney $400 an hour, and they're not going to let you use all these pictures, or they're not going to let you submit all this evidence. They're not going to let you make these arguments, or they're not going to make them for you. Here I am doing this for free, and there's stupid idiots in the comments whining and crying about it's not perfect enough. Man, if somebody gave you a barrel of gold and you said, "Hey, this is dirty, take it back," would you be that stupid to take it back? Or like, okay, now I got to go get my truck, and okay, just wait here. Oh, you know what? Never mind. That's too inconvenient for me. If they had bars of gold. So this information is golden if you care about your relationship with your kids. And if you're not discerning enough of that, then you're a stupid jackass and you're a punk and you're not worthy of getting your kid. And that's why you're in the situation that you're in. Stop being a punk and whining and crying that you have to sit through a video of mine and it's not good enough. Skip to another video. You didn't pay me for a consult, so I'm going to do these videos the way that I want it. If you don't like it, go somewhere else, you hypocrite. Go pay an attorney another $10,000 like you did the first time, because you're too stupid to realize after the first 1,000 that the attorney was a sellout. You don't care enough about your kids to want to do what needs to be done to fight for them. You're like, whatever the attorney says. You got Stockholm syndrome with your abusive attorney. So anyway, that's all about pictures, how I present them, and I give you extra freebies about how trial goes down and how I would just go through all my pictures at trial and tell the story on my stand. And some of you cowards out there would say, oh, I don't know, the judge might not like me talking that much. It's your freaking case, you idiot. It's your case, it's your kid. Go present it. If you're falsely accused of rape and you got 1 million pieces of evidence proving you weren't at the scene of the crime, you would adamantly fight for scratch and claw for your life. Why won't you do that for your own kid? Let's wake the heck up and stop being punks and simps, okay? And the haters in the comments, keep on hating. You're losing in your court case. You're not helping any dads win. I'm helping thousands of dads win and get back in their relationship with their kids. And you look like a punk sellout to fathers everywhere by attacking the only father's rights advocate out there, sharing this information. So, but for those of you who want to fight, you're gonna fight and take this information and take the meat, spit out the bones, take what you need. Hopefully you'll get better at what you're doing. You'll fight for your kids.